Hey everybody, welcome back to Wicked Sports. This is the Villa, and we're joined as always by Aaron. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Brian. How about you?
Doing quite well. Excited to talk about Aston Villa for the first time since the World Cup. Um, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but you've spoken quite a bit on the Swinging It Shins
hmm
podcast this whole time. I've been covering it and covering the Premier League top to bottom, but now let's get a little bit specific with Aston Villa's 3-1 loss on the 26th of December to Liverpool. How are you feeling about that one?
It was tough after coming back from the World Cup and expecting. I'm not saying I was expecting to win that particular day because it is Liverpool.
Mm,
Liverpool are still good. The last time I checked,
yes.
so um, it it was it wasn't a terrible loss. Not as the scoreline has looked.
Mm,
Um, it was 2-1 for most of the match, really. I think the takeaways from this match, realistically, was we played defensively all right,
mm,
a little bit lazy, like a little bit of that World Cup hangover, even though we only had a couple players in the World Cup.
right.
Uh, the midfield was decent. Kamara had himself a good game along with Louise.
Mm,
Um, Going forward, we had some attacking opportunities. It just didn't pan out except for the one goal Watkins had in the second that actually
mm,
brought it to 2-1 um, before Liverpool scored in the 80th minute, in the 80ish minute.
right.
Um, but the the point that I want to bring about Watkins, because he's been kind of been getting hit a lot lately. Uh, I like him. I like him most days. He's got great work rate, but his finishing has something left to be desired. I mean, I'll tell you why his work rate's good um, when we get to the Spurs match. But this Liverpool game, I didn't expect us to win. I was just hoping for a good result. You know,
Yeah, it's tough there right now, the sixth team. But silver lining, they turned right around against the fifth team and won 2
yeah.
0. So, what do you think about this one? Probably thought a little bit better of it if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to think of a game when you win. But
Mm,
so we won 2-0 away, which is um, remarkable because we weren't able to pick up away wins at all in the beginning of the season.
mm,
So now we picked up 2 wins away in a row, which actually is a good stat for Unai because it was somebody like in the 70s or 80s. It's been that long since a manager has won back-to-back away games um, on their first managerial go around, on their
right.
first
Right.
hiring.
Yeah, not in general.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it just never has happened since the 70s on any of these teams. But that's awesome. That's good. He's already turning it around a bit.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of promise. I'm really on board with the Unai train here. Uh, this game actually started slightly rocky because Tottenham have played poorly
Mm,
starting, so they started a little bit different and pressed a little bit more. So working from the back, which is just you start your flow of game from the center backs, goalkeeper out. Um, the press is a little bit harder to break as long as you can break it, then you can counter out. Um, there were a couple times where actually Villa got caught holding in possession. Um, Luckily, they were fouled, so it was a foul they got. Or it's a problem they got away with.
mm,
Um, in the first half, they played kind of lazy. They weren't making quick decisions. It seemed like, oh boy, here we go. We're gonna have a problem.
right.
Um, it almost ended that way too in the first half. Harry Kane had himself a cross come to him from Doherty or somebody like that. Doesn't really matter.
Mm,
Ashley Young saved it off the line with a beautiful diving header. So that's one good thing that Ashley Young has ever done.
Okay.
But we get to the second half, and it was a completely different team. That's where both the goals had come for Villa this time.
Mhm.
The first one was actually a 30-yarder that was hit from Douglas Luiz that was just absolutely botched by Lloris. And this is why I like Watkins, because he was the guy who was alert and was able to pick up the ball, rebound, and find Emi Buendia for the first goal.
Mhm.
And that just changed everything after that. They got their second goal off of a counter press, which is really nice because it just happened, shorter transition. Everyone's trying to shift back and forth. And McGinn was able to pick out Douglas Luiz on a beautiful lofted ball, and Dougie was able to hit it with his right outside of his right foot, chip it over the goalkeeper. This particular game felt really good, obviously, because you come away with 3 points, and it's a away win because away wins are hard to come by. But it felt good because we were doing a lot of the right things. A lot of the small things were done right. The only problem I have, again, is the fact that we were kind of napping a little bit in the first half. And we didn't get punished, obviously, in this match because they didn't score. But there were a couple opportunities where the Spurs could have. But, we just took advantage of a Spurs team that have been playing bad, and more power to us.
Exactly. So hey, I mean, win's a win. Who cares if they're playing bad? It's still a
Absolutely.
W, and still, coming off of this against the fifth place team, going into a game against the let me just scroll here for a second. The 19th team.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they'd probably have a decent chance on getting a W there, but it was a draw against the Wolves. What happened?
God. So this game is what a lot of people don't know, obviously, is because we're teaching people too, is this is a Midland derby. The Wolves actually aren't far away from Birmingham, so it's considered a derby.
Right.
And well, this game was brutal. I actually liked the way the team played against Liverpool in the loss than this draw.
Right.
Again, we were napping in the first half, and Podence just his footwork was amazing. And I don't people are blaming Emi Martinez for not reacting to that ball, but he had two defenders in front of him. There was no way he was seeing that ball.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was watching this, it was with the run of play, and they had like 2 or 3 corners, a set piece, and I was like, we need to get rid of this ball. We need to clear it. We're going to get caught with our pants down here. And sure enough, pants down.
Right. Do you think it's kind of one of those situations where I don't want to say the overlooked Wolves, but maybe the kind of went like, oh, Wolves, they're terrible. We're fine. We'll be okay. And then, got a little lackadaisical.
Maybe in the players' minds, but as Unai has shown, I think his preparation was proper. So I don't think it's the coach's fault personally. I think it's actually the players' fault on this one. I mean, the players look sluggish. I understand they've played. This would be the third match in a week, practically. So they might have been tired, but they just looked outdogged on 50-50 balls. They were lazy on the ball. They were unimaginative on the attacking side. It just seemed very much Dean Smith, Coach Gerrard-esque ball. Right. And Unai's trying to break that.
Right. Oh man. So, anything else about any of these three that you wanted to bring up that we didn't get to?
Um, we did play better in that Wolves second half, but I
Mm,
think that's just because we needed to. And I bet
yeah.
a fire was lit under everyone's butts. Like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We're better than this. You literally won against the Spurs at home, or excuse me, at Spurs. Um, so it was good that we got that tying goal because it would have been really embarrassing if we didn't. Um,
Right.
there was an incident later on in that match at stoppage
Mhm.
time. Um, so Leon Bailey had this beautiful ball given to him by Ings, and he had beaten the defender, he had beaten the goalkeeper, and he just was on his wrong foot, and he scuffed the ball and sent it wide of the post. Now, I was reading some comments because I do read those because why not? And a lot of people are like, "Oh, Bailey's a bum. Sell him. He's been nothing but trash for us." And for those people who think he's a bum, first off, he had to pluck it out of the sky. He had to get it under control. He had to go around the goalkeeper on his weak side and try to, because it was on a half volley too, and it wasn't on the turf. It was still kind of in the air, and then he had to kick the ball to try to put it on net in the 94th minute. You try that.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't a give me, but it's obviously still disappointing.
Yes,
But
of course.
yeah.
But he showed very at the end of the match, when the match finally finished, he collapsed on the field, face down, in tears, distraught. And the things
Yeah.
that I liked, I saw Ings go over, I saw Mings go over, and I saw Watkins go over and console him.
Mm,
And that shows some team unity right there. I love seeing that. I eat that for breakfast.
right. Oh man. Well, looking at the schedule, it seems like I don't want to say things are gonna get easier, but it seems like a very winnable section of the schedule here. So hopefully in the coming weeks we're gonna have a lot of like positive to talk about here.
I mean, yeah, we looking ahead. We have the FA Cup fixture here with Stevenage, and that's Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Um, so that should be a win, and I'm hoping for more of like a youthful squad versus
Mm,
a senior squad in this particular match. However, Stevenage is actually second place in League Two,
mm,
which is the third division below us,
right.
below the EPL. Yeah. So they could be a problem, but I don't see that being the
Mm,
case. And then after the FA Cup, we play Leeds and Jesse Marsh's team, and they can be a very much kind of like watching a basketball match. To be honest, they're up and down, up and down, up and
mm,
down. It's incredible that they're able to stay on the field as long as they do.
right.
Uh, but we should win that game too.
Right.
Other than that, we have two winnable matches upcoming,
Yeah.
and
So
most likely a third if you look down farther when we face Southampton.
yeah, that is good.
Yeah,
Are they the bottom team? They are.
they
Yeah,
are
they
the
are the
bottom team
20th
right now.
team. So yeah, we'll see. But we'll definitely be letting you all know what happens in all of those here on the Villa Villa or in the Villa Villa. I don't know how to phrase it, but
Well,
it's
we're in it, we're on it, we're around
yeah,
it. It doesn't matter.
exactly. Exactly. And if you want to hear more, Varen, check out our Swinging at Shins podcast. Top link in the description down below. They just put out a new episode. Do you want to plug that episode at all?
So that episode includes actually two match days. We did match day 18 and most of match day 19 because who wasn't done? City and Chelsea weren't done, which is done now. City won, so they got 3 points and
Mhm.
they're closing the gap now on Arsenal at the top. We chatted about Newcastle drawing. We chatted about a little bit of Arsenal, Aston Villa, because we can. And
Right. Yeah.
goodness, who else did we chat about that particular day? Well, I guess you get to find out
It's a
when you.
lot. Listen to the podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
find out. Exactly. Other than that, Aaron, any place online you want to plug, anything like that?
Well, we have, Way West stands as well. Richard does that. He's doing the Albany Gooners.
Mhm.
We have our Swinging at Shins. You can catch us at Spotify and all Stitcher, Apple Music, or whatever their
Mm.
brand is. We have a Facebook page. We have Instagram. We have TikTok. We're pretty active on all of those. So, come check us out. Give us some hearts and love and all that. Or, if you got some criticisms, we're up for that too.
Mhm. Yeah, so you're checking out that. You can find me on Twitter at the fake Mars, BMARR. Keep your criticisms to yourself as far as I'm concerned. But for me, yeah, you can follow me there talking about sports, about reality television, crying about the Dolphins usually. If you're into that, check me out there. And then the channel is on Twitter, Wicked Good Sport, and WG Everything, Instagram, Wicked Everything, and Wicked Good Sport. Then Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Good Everything, and TikTok, search Wicked Good Sports, search Wicked Good Everything. Other than that, Aaron, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
And we'll see you all in the next one.